Welcome to the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. Here's your host, Brian Henley.
Hey, everybody, what is going on? This is your man, Big B, Brian Henley, along with Tim Fitzgerald. Welcome to Big 12 Insiders Live. This is our Orange Bowl preview of Texas Tech taking on Oregon. First thing, Happy New Year to everybody out there, man. We are going to have – it's going to be a good day. We're live for a little while before the game today. We're going to be live after the game, breaking down exactly what happened in this football game. So appreciate everybody being in here. We'll cover some of the stuff that we talked about yesterday, some of the ins and out, what the national media is saying about this football game today, who they're picking. But overall, I think this is going to be, first off, it's going to be a great day of college football. New Year's Day has always traditionally been a great day for college football. I don't think anything should be different than that. But more importantly, I think this could be a big day for the Big 12 because, like I mentioned before, I mean, we'll get into it, but there's not that many people that think Texas Tech is going to win this game, Fitz. Just not a lot of people. So before we get into it, remember, if you're here, thank you for getting up early with us this morning. We appreciate you. Fitz,
Yo.
How are you doing, my man?
I'm good. I was a good boy last night. I'm not used to that. Oh, my gosh. I woke up on, for most of my life, I woke up with a new year and a headache. I thought the two just came together. I don't know. Being an adult's wild. Huh? Yeah. But anyhow, I'm looking forward to today. You mentioned New Year's Day being, a traditionally great football 24-hour period, but it's better now. I mean, we used to have those great bowl games, but they didn't mean much. It was just all pride. Now we get 3 games that mean everything.
Yeah.
And we're going to see who fills out the semifinal bracket basically here within, the next 12 hours. And it's awesome. It's fantastic. We got 1 semifinalist in. Can we get one from each conference? Kind of what we're looking at. Maybe, possibly. We'll see.
We will see. First off, let's talk about last night, what we saw. Miami Hurricanes go on to the Cotton Bowl and take down Ohio State 24-14 in a game that was basically dominated. In the first half, Miami physically beat up Ohio State. They physically just punched them in the mouth and just kept punching them, but they didn't knock them out. But that was a physical mismatch, at least on one side of the ball, Fitz. That Miami's defense dominated everything that Ohio State was trying to do offensively. In the second half, Ohio State had a counter. They made a change because at right guard, my goodness, the right guard for Ohio State was getting obliterated last night in the first half. I mean, he looked like a high school kid out there. My goodness. They made a change. It got better, but Miami was able to hold them off. And in the decisive drive where I know that they allowed Miami to score a touchdown, Miami has put themselves in position to basically drain the clock out had they not scored the touchdown. So they took over and made the drive when they needed to make it. And it just goes to show you that competition is competition. Ohio State was at the top of the food chain, defending national champion, ranked 1 or 2 all season long. And then they played against teams where the competition was even. And they didn't have the superior advantage. And when they didn't have that, they got beat. And that's where, I'm sorry. That's the way it is, Fitz. College football. When you don't have the superior advantage over other teams and you have to play somebody that can match you physically and athletically, can you win? Ohio State couldn't win.
No. And that wasn't a match. They got dominated.
They did.
In physicality, Miami kicked Ohio State all over the field. It was shocking to see the big bad Big Ten get pushed around like that because that's their brand. Their brand is boring physical football.
Yep.
And Miami took their brand and shoved it down their throat. They
did.
Dominated the point of attack. And you always say it, most physical team typically wins. That was true. And I think that's why Miami didn't. You want to give us this touchdown? We'll take it. You can't score enough to beat us now. You just can't.
No.
It was a great game. It really was. Very entertaining. We all bashed on the committee for the hijinks at the end. Clearly, Miami deserved to be in, but they deserved to be in before the last poll too.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing, is you had the poll screwed up in numerous ways and fixed some of it at the last minute, but not
Correct.
all of it, because BYU should have been in. If Tech wins this game today, college football needs to admit that the difference isn't that big. If there is one, it might be that your fifth place team's better than the Big 12's fifth place team. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is at this point, because I don't see a difference watching these teams play actual football games.
Right.
Not in some hypothetical SEC world in which they win every game. And if they don't, there's a logical reason why they didn't, and they should have. They would have, but they didn't. They just didn't. But they're better still. I mean, this nonsense got to stop, Big B.
Yeah.
It's killing the game. It really is. Greg Sankey is attempting to kill college football by just asserting that his conference is so much better than everyone else without the evidence to prove it now. Don't give me your recruiting classes. I don't want to hear about recruiting classes in the era of the transfer portal.
Mm-mm.
You got a bunch of 5-star guys that are going to redshirt and transfer. Well, good for you. Fantastic. Let's look at the product on the field. That's what's important.
Yeah.
So I'm fired up for today. I think Tech's going to win. And I think it'll be great for college football if that happens.
Yeah, and and I listened to a little bit of Game Day early to start the morning, and they were giving the reasons on not Game Day, it was Get Up, excuse me, and they were giving the reasons. Josh Pate and Paul Feinbaum and Jesse I think Jesse Rogers, I think that's his name, or Jordan Rogers, excuse me, and they were giving all the reasons why Oregon was going to win, that Tech couldn't match up with them. And it's almost like they haven't watched a Texas Tech football game this year.
Yeah.
That's literally what it was. Because what they kept saying was, well, Tech plays a lot of one high safety, and they're not going to be able to do that. And Oregon's going to be just more physical. They're going to be able to run the football right at them, and Tech's not going to be able to do anything. And I just thought, you haven't watched a Texas Tech football game all year, have you? You have literally not watched them and say that, well, Oregon's going to be able to be more physical than anything that Texas Tech's seen all year long. And I'm like, are you insane? Like is that really what you just said out loud on national television, that Tech hasn't played any physical football teams? It was unbelievable what was going on. And of course, those three guys, they all picked Oregon and just said, yeah, they're not going to be able to stop them. And they'll be able to do whatever they want. 220 yards rushing. At least Josh Pate was a little more realistic. And he said, hey, if they can get to 130 yards rushing, okay, I see them winning. Everybody, oh, yeah, they'll run for 200-plus yards. It's not even going to be close. They're just going to run the ball and do whatever they want to Texas Tech. And I'm like, I get it. It's for entertainment. I totally understand that, but come on, man. At some point, you got to be realistic. Now, it's up to Tech to hold that end of the bargain and not allow that to happen. But just having some sort of an objective analysis goes a long way. And to just come up with cannon fodder, just nonsense, just to throw it out there, you're basically telling anybody that has a halfway decent knowledge of college football that's watched games, your analysis basically told all of us you haven't watched Texas Tech play a football game this year.
Exactly. Why bother watching a Big 12 game, Big B? They don't play any good football there. I mean, it's kind of grotesque how ESPN has contorted reality so that they can make $1.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's not about professionalism. It's not about accuracy. It's not about honesty. It's about making $1. And we're going to push this narrative. Don't believe your eyes. Listen to us. And we have to believe our eyes, because our eyes are telling us you're lying jackasses.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no way around it at this point.
Yeah.
You guys are shoving a contortion of reality down everyone's throat and telling us we must comply with your version of reality, when our version is more entertaining football, more competitive teams, better allegiance across the nation for their teams, because everyone has a chance to win the national championship. That's what we want. And you just want the SEC to dominate for personal profit. I like our plan better, where everyone has a shot at this, where people aren't excluded based on geography or membership, where the games are actually decided on the field. That's a novel concept. ESPN hasn't quite realized that, unlike manipulating the college football playoff committee, they can't manipulate the outcome of games.
No.
The final scores are the final scores. We get to see them. And now we get to see the truth that Tennessee never did anything this season. And yet you told us they were great all year. You tell us so many factual errors are true. It's shocking. And you get a right to your opinion, but don't be an idiot with your opinion either, because ESPN, I know you don't have a lot of credibility left, but good heavens, gain some dignity, man.
Yes.
Be honest.
Well, that's the thing, Fitz, is and I learned this a long time ago. My grandfather told me this. He's like, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and everybody has an opinion, but your opinion can also be wrong.
Right.
Just because you have an opinion doesn't mean that it's right. Like, the sun is out and I can say the sun's not out and that's what I believe. Well, I'm looking at it. So, your opinion doesn't have to be right just because you're entitled to one. And, without getting on a tangent, Miami's crashing the party. We've seen Miami is crashing the party and making this thing just basically telling everybody, look, talent is talent. Physicality is physicality. Win on the field. If you can't win on the field, then don't tell me about how good you are or your conference is. I don't want to hear it. Just go win the games against good competition. If you can do that, fine. But if you're not, then don't tell me how superior you are to everybody, because we're watching it. We're literally watching it. You're not superior. Is it? Do you have some teams that are very good? Yes, but you're just not superior. We just saw it, because there's not first of all, Miami didn't even win the ACC. They didn't even win it, and they just beat the team that most people believe is the number 2 team, second best team in the country. We watched it happen. And not only did we watch it happen, Fitz, we watched them get physically beat up from pillar to post. That's what we watched. So regardless of what people want to say, hey, man, the difference between the number 1 team and the number 20 team, it really ain't that much different, man. It's not. You're going to see some different – there'll be a little bit of lag, but it's not that much different, especially if you have the people in the right spots. You can compete. But that, I digress with that. Like I said, I don't want to get off on a tangent, because today is a day we're talking about Texas Tech taking on Oregon. Here's one thing, though, Fitz, about Tech in this game, I should say. College football playoff gone to 12-team playoff. Last year was the first year. 5 teams or 5 games, I guess, so far of teams that have gotten byes. Every one of them has lost. So of the 5 teams so far that have gotten a bye, all of them have lost that game. I don't like that as far as Texas Tech. I don't like that trend. And because Dan Lanning is on to something. No reason why we need to be taking all these days off in between games. I mean, it's a long time before the Big 12 championship game. It was almost a month. It was almost a month off. And then you're playing a playoff game. It doesn't make sense to me. Does not make sense to me.
No. I mean, what they're trying to do is what we talked about, to have a big New Year's Day.
Yep.
And I get that, but you're pushing the season back too far. We got to move the schedule up. We've got to tighten things up and start playing these games as soon as possible. And I think if we see all 4 teams with a bye lose again this year, that'll be unfortunate for Tech, but I think that'll be the end of byes. I mean, we should just move to 8 or 16 anyhow. Byes don't make any sense.
Let Georgia lose, Fitz. Let Georgia lose. Byes will be gone. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. I think the insulation to that is being physical. Because if that's your brand, that carries you through bad performances. That, if you're physical and wearing down the opponent, that can give you the advantage at the end of the game, even though you haven't played particularly well in other areas. Right. So I'm hoping Texas Tech's physicality, which apparently doesn't exist. I swear I've watched them kick the shit out of people all year long, and physically do so. I mean, and teams that we're seeing then win bowl games, aka Utah. Yeah, I think I think if anyone's going to be insulated from it, could be a Texas Tech, but it is a storyline that needs to be followed, because I think even if 3 lose and 1 wins, we're going to see the byes go away.
Yep.
The SEC won't let that happen. Plus, then they think they can get in 8 teams in a 16-team playoff, because half of their teams are the best in college football.
Unbelievable.
Hey, were we supposed to stop drinking, or can I just start drinking again? And just because I'm going to need a drink talking about the SEC.
No, I hear you. People that are in the comments, I encourage you guys to continue participate in what we're talking about, man. Please. Thank you guys very, very much. By the way, there's also another way if you guys want to help support the channel. Super chats are wide open if you want to ensure that you get your comment or question up on the screen. Please, if you want, like I said, if you want to help support the channel, you know how to do that. Super chats are wide open to anybody.
Let me bring up a comment real quick. Oh,
yep, Bracket Cat.
Yep.
Says Miami, Texas Tech, and Indiana all winning is going to end up this sports permanently. Is going to upend this sport permanently, and I'm here for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. If that happens, if all these teams win, because here's the thing about Indiana. While Indiana has money, Indiana isn't paying like a crazy amount for all these transfers. Like they're getting transfers from places like FCS or Group of 5. Like they're not getting cast-offs from an Alabama or a Texas or a Nebraska. They're not getting those guys. They're not. They're getting cast off from other places that are not quote unquote football factories. And they just made it work. They made the right hire. They put people in the right spot. They built a football team based on physicality. I know you guys get tired of me saying that, but Indiana is extremely physical. And if you do that with the right guys, you can win. And physicality, man, I'm telling you, especially at the college football level, if you're the more physical team, as long as you don't turn it over 50 times, you can win. You can win. Even when you don't have the best skilled players, you can win. So
did I Go ahead. I had a smart ass comment. I've decided not to keep it to myself. Look, I mean, Indiana is a good football team, a great football team, well built, an incredible job by Kurt Signetti. But did you say they were physical? Because I seem to remember them beating Ohio State not too long ago.
And how did they beat Ohio State? They physically whipped them.
Didn't they do the same to Oregon?
Sure did.
In Duck
At
City?
Oregon.
Yeah. Huh. But Tech isn't physical at all.
And it's weird because for people to say that about Tech, because and I listened to it this morning and I just thought, man, I can't believe you guys are saying that. When they're talking about Tech and everybody is talking about how good their defensive line is and how they have these first round, second round, like they have these first, second, and third round draft picks going into the National Football League, that they have all these guys on the team. Isn't that what they always say about the SEC? Isn't that what they say? Oh, man, look at the National Football League. It's littered with NFL guys or SEC guys. I mean, that's why the league is so good. Well, here we have a D-line of Texas Tech that's going to be littered with NFL, or is littered with guys that are going to be in the NFL, but yet they're not physical enough. They're not physical. They have no physicality. And I'm ready for the football game. I'll be honest with you, Fitz. I'm fired up for this football game because I want to. Now, again, Tech's got to hold their end of the bargain. They got to go out there and do it. And by no means is Oregon some pushover. So I don't want anybody to think that we're just saying Tech's going to just roll over Oregon. I don't believe that. I don't believe they're going to blow them out by any stretch of the imagination. But I would be shocked. And again, for anybody out there, we're going to be live after the game. I would be shocked if Oregon ran for 200 yards like two of the guys said was going to happen, that Oregon was going to run for over 200 yards and they're going to have their way with Tech. I'll be shocked if that happens. I'm not saying it won't. I would just be shocked, Fitz. I don't see that happen. They may lose the game, but I don't see Oregon just physically just running over Tech. I just don't see that.
Look, I think most people watching this right now understand how good Tech is, and understands they do play a physical brand of football. But the nation, if this follows the Tech script, we're going to have a heck of a football game for 3 quarters.
Correct.
Back and forth. Oh, look, Tech's not dominating. Oregon's not dominating. You know, both sides will be thumping their chests. And then if it plays the script that we've seen all year long, Tech just grinds you down to, you know, you old folks like me, when you had the number 2 pencil and you kept sharpening and sharpening and sharpening, and then pretty soon you had a pencil that was really short. That's what happens. They just grind down other teams. In the fourth quarter, they do whatever they want. Let's see if that plays out, because it's been an impressive trend at how they do it. It's systematic almost, how they wear you out and make you feel like you're in it, but you're about to get your ass kicked. And I love it. Yeah. I love that brand of football they're playing.
I do. I like it. The thing that for me, again, let's kind of go over some of the stuff that we talked about yesterday. You know, as far as offenses, Oregon is 8th in the country. Texas Tech is 9th. So that's why this game is it's pretty evenly matched, which is why it was shocking to hear these guys talk like it was almost going to be a blowout. It was wild to me. You know, yes, Oregon has a really good running game at 214 yards a game. They're running all over people. They didn't do that against a physical defense like Indiana, and Tech has a physical defense like Indiana. Physical front 4 with linebackers that can run and make plays. Imagine that. Tech has the exact same thing. But regardless, that's what it is. But Tech, it's not like Tech doesn't run the football. They're running for 178 yards a game. I don't know. Passing, Tech was 10th at 285, and Oregon is 41st. They throw it for 251 a game, and Tech throws it for 284. So again, not a ton of separation. We're talking about 33 yards extra a game. The game is going to be a dogfight, in my opinion. I can't wait. And even when you go to the defensive side of the ball, Fitz, it gets even closer. Tech is the number 2 defense in the country. Oregon is 5th. So evenly matched. And that's why I think this is the best game of the day today, I believe, because I think Indiana is going to get after Alabama. I think Georgia is going to beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going to be an emotional roller coaster with their coach bailing on them. Going to college playoff and you're not good enough. Unbelievable that you get to the mountaintop and your coaches say, yeah, but that mountaintop ain't high enough for me, man. That's not high enough. I got to get out of here. So, but yeah, I think this is going to be the best game of the day. I think it's going to be the best game of the playoffs so far, in my opinion. I think 2 evenly matched football teams going at it. I like it, Fitz. I like this one.
I agree. And, it's interesting. If Indiana and Tech both win, they play each other to go to the national championship. It's beautiful. That's great for college football. And, if everything goes as we expect, Miami and Georgia will be in the brand bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's a kind of a blue blood. Miami's a big brand from, the 80s. It looked like the 80s. Michael Irvin thought it was the 80s last night.
Oh, my God. They showed Michael Irvin 100 times.
100 times.
He's the new Taylor Swift. He's a Taylor Swift of college football, Fitz.
Actually, when you put it that way, I'll take Michael Irvin. I'll take it.
I mean, he was there. I thought he was going in the game. They showed him 2 times. He was stretching. He was doing a yoga pose. I'm like, what is going on with this cat? It was great, though. I love Michael Irvin, man. Give me that excitement all day long.
Drugs are a beautiful thing. He's on them. Yeah, that was entertaining. And I got to admit, I got nostalgic about it, but Miami being dominant was a cool time in college football, wasn't it? But yeah, college football needs that shakeup. So hopefully Tech will get things started on the right path today. We don't have to mess around. We get to find out early. Let's be honest, Big B, if this had been the late game, would we have been doing a post-game show? Probably not.
No. It's a little too late for my blood.
Well, we appreciate ESPN sliding the lowly Big 12 team early, slide it in early here so that we can wake up, do this, watch football, do a post-game show, and then go eat dinner.
Absolutely.
And watch football.
Yeah, so make sure you guys show up again, man. After the game, we are going to break this thing down for basically exactly what we saw and moving forward, what it's going to look like for whoever wins. But we'll break all that down. Here is, my analysis of this game. I just think it's going to be a pretty evenly matched football game.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a little bit back and forth. I think defenses are going to stand up early in the first quarter, but then the offenses will settle in. Anything can happen in these games. The key to me, I think if Bear Morton, if he can be accurate throwing the football, and if he's healthy like they say that he is, we don't need him out there taking chances. If you're going to run, you got to slide. You can't be going head first, at least not early in the game. Don't be doing that kind of stuff because let's just be honest, he's injury prone, and if he gets hurt, Tech's not winning. I'm telling you that right now. He gets hurt, Tech's not winning, and Tech may get blown out. So be smart. Don't be cautious, but, don't play. I should say you got to play football, but you have to be smart. So maybe the word is to be a little cautious. Maybe that is the right word. Bottom line is, if Baron Morton is on his game, Tech wins. That's what I'm saying. Tech wins. Because I think Tech, while they may not be able to run the ball early, by the middle of the second quarter, third quarter, Tech is going to be able to run the football because they don't get away from it. No. And this is just not the teams that we've seen before of Texas Tech. And maybe that's what ESPN is caught up in, Fitz. Maybe those guys are just caught up in what Tech used to be and has been for a long time, just high flying, throw it all over the place, not a physical team. And we haven't really watched Tech, so That's what they are. When if you've actually just paid it, just one game, one conference game, if you watched, you'd be like, oh, yeah, this is different. This is something totally, totally different. And that's where I think that Tech is going to win. That's why I think they're going to win the game, because I think physicality is going to run the day. I think they're going to be the more physical team. And whether they're the more physical team in the first, second, or third quarter, it's what you said, Fitz. By the fourth quarter, they keep pouring it on and they don't stop. They just don't stop.
I love it. I love it. Our friend John Grove makes an interesting point here. I don't know what's going on in college football. This shouldn't be a bowl game. I'm sorry. Bowl games are bowl games. This should not be a bowl game. I'm with him. I think when they redo this, they need to make sure that we get more on-campus games.
Mm-hmm.
Quit the hell with the bowl games. I understand people are sentimental about it. I just got nostalgic about Miami, but bowl games have run their course. They're the leather helmet of college football in the modern era. They just don't serve a purpose. They don't get the job done. So yeah, let's just have the 16 schools, first round home sites, second round home sites of highest seeded team, and then we have semifinals at designated places, and then the championship game. So I'm all for it. More on campus. That's what college football is. We don't go and play playoff games at neutral site games in the NFL, do we? We just play one neutral site game, and that's the championship. So I'd like to see, also for the convenience of fans. Well, I mean, I had a Tech fan that's a follower of mine say, boy, it's expensive going to Florida in January or December.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, because the whole world wants to go to Florida when it's snowing at home.
Exactly.
So why are we gouging fans from Oregon and Texas Tech to fly to Florida to watch their team play? It doesn't make sense to me. And, back in the bowl era, that made sense because that's it. You're going to go to that game and then the season's over. But do you think fans are going to spend their money to go to the Orange Bowl and then have to turn around and do it again if they win and then do it again if they win?
I didn't understand the picking of where the teams went. Like, and I get it. You don't want to give Tech a home field advantage, but I thought if you were the higher seed, that was kind of part of it. I thought that was part of it. Tech playing, I get it, in the Cotton Bowl is going to give them a huge advantage, but that's part of it. But where's Ohio State going to play? Well, I mean, you could have put them in the Peach Bowl, well, Miami's in Florida and it's not that far to Georgia. Okay. It goes back to Dan Lanning said it best. And this is a guy that's playing against Texas Tech. He flat out said the game should be in Lubbock. And he's right. He's 100% right. There's no reason for this game, for any of these games, not just this game, for any of these games to not be on campus. And I know that we want to have them in the best environments possible to make the games, more stylistic. And I understand all of that. But at the highest level, they don't give a damn about that until you get to the Super Bowl.
No.
Like, they don't care. It's like, hey, we worked all year to get home field advantage. And partly I understand why college is different, because in the NFL, you play for your seeding. There's no, hey, we're just we're just guessing at who's the best teams, where in college, they just, okay, we got a committee and we'll put teams in based on what we think. I know we're not going to watch all the games, so we're just going to put teams in based on what we think. So, and we're going to rank them based that way too, not on anything, other than what we think. And so I get that. But having said that, at the same time, football's played outside. Otherwise, everybody would have a dome. There's certain schools up north. You're telling me Michigan couldn't afford a dome if they didn't want one? Of course they could. Ohio State, of course they could. But they don't. They don't want a dome. They don't want that. And you're never going to convince me that they couldn't have one if they wanted one. They absolutely could have one if they wanted one, but they don't. They don't want one and they don't need one. And so playing these games outside in December, well, it's such a disadvantage. Win more games and you can have a home game. How about that? How about you do that?
Yep.
You know, you can always qualify and just win all the games. You don't have to lose. Nobody's telling you have to lose. So that's where I'm at with it. I mean, it'll get fixed. I know college football is always usually a decade behind when it comes to keeping up with the times. I totally understand that, but it'll get fixed eventually. But back to this game, because again, we could go on tangents all day long.
I am
back,
a tangent.
Yeah, back to the game. You know, Oregon is going to present a big challenge for Tech. I feel like we've talked about all the things that Tech can do and is going to do, and maybe not given enough just due to how good Oregon is. Oregon is an extremely good football team, people. So I don't want you to think that Fitz and I are up here saying that Oregon stinks and they don't have a chance. No, they have a real chance to win this game. I mean, hell, they're favored in this game. But I think everybody's just underestimating the physicality. That's all that Tech brings to the table. I that's my gripe, is that everybody's underestimating it and they act like Tech's not a physical football team because, well, they didn't play. They played in the Big 12 and they haven't seen any physical. Like I don't know. Washington somehow is some physical football team, or USC is just this physical juggernaut that Oregon has played. No, Oregon played a physical team in Indiana and got beat. So I just, or Wisconsin is this physical juggernaut that nobody can move. And yet Wisconsin was one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. So that's where I guess that's why I'm going so overboard talking about Tech, Fitz, is because nobody's giving them a chance.
I know Nebraska's down and everyone pokes fun of them, but they've always said they're still physical. What? Utah's really physical.
Yes.
Very physical.
BYU.
We saw the outcome of the game. You know, I mean, yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Big 12's acquitted itself fairly well this postseason. So, I mean, it's amazing what you decide the quality of teams and conferences by the games being played instead of your imaginary friend in the closet telling you what's going on. But yeah, Oregon, Dante Moore is going to be a problem.
Yes, he is.
They, when you're completing 73% of your passes, you better get after him. And Tech's got the guys to do it naturally. But if he can make plays under pressure, like not the guy might get me, the guy's in your face and he's going to hit you in about a split second. Can you complete that pass? Because if he can, they're going to have some success because he's going to get battered and beaten. That's the way they've done it all year. Not cheap, just physical. And so if he can complete passes without making mistakes, without being errant, I mean, 72.4%, 28 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and he can run. So, yeah, I mean, this guy's going to be an issue. Excuse me. And I'm very intrigued to see if Tech can alter his game with pressure. That's really what Tech has to do is get him off center.
Right. Well, bring up this comment here. My man Snowbird Oregon said Iowa. And I know he was bringing up Iowa as Iowa being a physical football team. And in most instances, I mean, Iowa is, let's not kid ourselves. Yeah. Iowa is a physical football team. But here's the one thing that I would tell you about Iowa. First off, they lost 4 football games this year. One of those happened to be Iowa State, and Iowa State was middle of the road in the Big 12 this year. So let's when we start talking about physicality and physical football teams and who Oregon has played, that's physical. You're right. They played Iowa, and that was a dogfight, an absolute dogfight. Oregon had to kick a field goal at the end of the game to win. And just so we're all on the same page, that same Iowa team got beat by Iowa State, who middle of the pack in the Big 12, middle of the pack. And wasn't a factor to win the Big 12 for the last month. Wasn't a factor at all. So I get what you're saying. Totally understand, but let's keep it in context, people.
And Iowa State wasn't a physical team this year.
No, they weren't. They were not.
That's their drop off.
Yes.
They lost the sense of physicality that they had for a very long time. Now they've lost their entire roster. So best of luck to the new coaching staff. But yeah, I mean, the Big Ten does play some physical football, but don't excuse that nobody else does. That can't match it.
Correct.
Because there's some pretty physical teams in this conference. It may be not what it used to be, but here we are. I'm just going to say this again. I have said this all season, and it's almost like an old man bragging that he's old. I have literally covered this conference since the first game that was played by the Big 12. Tech at Kansas State in 96 started all this. I have covered this conference since the beginning. I've seen the great Oklahoma teams up close. I've seen Texas have some pretty good teams. Big B, this might be the best Big 12 team I've seen. And boy, did that piss off one of my colleagues that covers Oklahoma. They absolutely can't grasp that the Big 12 is surviving and thriving without them. The Big 12 is better now than it has been in terms of competitiveness and unity. Getting rid of Texas is like getting rid of the stomach flu, like getting rid of food poisoning. All my lights are burning out. We just started the day and my lights are going out. I don't know what to do, man. Yeah, I'm fired up. I'm getting to the point now where it's like, when you're a journalist, you cover teams. You don't root for them. You go cover them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of new for me. I'm not really covering this game, but I am, I'm not there functioning as a journalist in the press box. So I kind of have I kind of got a little free card to, hope that the Big 12 wins this one. It's good for the conference. It's good for business, but it's good for college football.
Right.
If the Big 12 and ACC are seen as viable competitive conferences, what they're doing with this promotion of the Big 10 and SEC being much more superior than the other two conferences is they're hurting college football. And we need this. We need Tech winning. We just do. College football needs it. I vote college football gods deliver, because we need that on the record, that Miami and Tech are in the semifinals.
We do. Got a super chat. Thank you, Mr. Ken. We appreciate you supporting the channel. He said defense travels. I think Joey will have them ready and hungry. Wrexham. I agree. Defense travels.
Speaking of hungry, what is his icon there? Is it
know.
Food?
It is food. It is food.
Mr. Ken's got hungry on the mind. Yeah, defense does travel.
It does. It does. And the thing about it is, but also keep in mind, though, Mr. Ken, is Oregon's got one, too. And I think that's what we have to keep in mind, is that Oregon's got a defense, too. So they're going to be ready. That's why this game is going to be so good, is because both teams are, I think, are going to bring it. Like I mentioned, I think of the playoff games that we've had so far, I think this is going to be the best one, even including the other two that come today. I think this is going to be the best one of them all. But just for the simple fact, I think Indiana is just better than Alabama. And I think Georgia is just better than Ole Miss. And who knows where Ole Miss is mentally. when you finally reach the mountaintop and your head coach says that's not good enough. And again, it's not like a Group of 5 team that he left. It's a team in the SEC that was a game from playing in the SEC championship. And Lane Kiffin just said, nah, I know we're in the playoff. I'm going to go to a team that didn't qualify for the playoff. I think that's a better job for me. So I got to get out of here. So who knows where he's going to be at mentally, but we'll see. We'll see. I think this game is going to be great. I think it's going to be great.
Stop and appreciate Lane Kiffin for a second. Coaches typically live for the opportunity to win a national championship. They want to get to the game to win a national championship. Lane Kiffin has a team that puts him in that position. Nah, I'm going to leave. The money's more important than winning a national championship to me. They gave me a deal on hair care products. I don't even understand Lane Kiffin. He's not motivated like a football coach.
No,
he's purely ego. He's a good football coach, but it's just so much ego and desire to make money that he forgot. You're supposed to want to win a national championship, not bail on your team when they're in a position to do it. Very, very odd. But that's the SEC. There's stuff going on there that is more important than football, I guess, than actual winning and losing. But yeah, this is a really good game. And I think I'm angry at other journalists for painting this as probably an Oregon blowout that Tech can't match up, because they're stealing. They're basically telling, don't bother what your eyes see. Oregon's a better team. Let's enjoy the game. I think it's going to be a great game. And if I know Tech, it's going to go into the fourth quarter and Oregon's going to feel good about themselves until they don't feel good anymore. And that it's a very entertaining brand of football. But you're right. Baron Morton's got to stay healthy. Just got to
stay healthy. Got to do it. I'm with you. I think the game gets into the fourth quarter, and I think Tech just makes enough plays to be able to win the football game. That's where I'm at with it. I think they just make enough plays because I think they're going to be the more physical team against two teams that are physical. The two teams that are physical. There's no doubt about that. I think a lot of times, and I say this all the time because it's on the internet and it's the internet craze, or maybe it's just the times that we live in now, that if you say one team is something, for instance, if you say Tech is more physical, that means that Oregon isn't physical at all. That's not what that means. And nobody said that. All it means is you believe one team is more physical than the other. That's okay to say. Well, and two things can absolutely be true. And that's where I'm going with it. That's why I like Tech in this football game. I think it's going to be a little bit more higher scoring than maybe people think, because offenses – look, defenses are great, but when you got the weapons on the outside and you can do some of that, that was the difference last night, where Ohio State had more weapons on the outside. But when you get physically dominated in the trenches and, they're giving up 5 sacks and the quarterback's running for his life, you can have all the stuff you want on the outside. Didn't matter, did it? And I think that's going to happen in both of these cases. But I think teams, they're going to be able to run the football. So give me Tech 27-23 in a close one, but I like Tech 27-23 in this one, Fitz.
I hadn't even thought about a score. I'll go with 31-20 Tech.
Okay.
They'll open it up to double digits lead there in the fourth quarter and force Oregon into mistakes. They do this to everyone. It's crazy to watch it happen. They just get you. You have to play so close to the vest against Tech because they'll take advantage of your mistakes. If you show any part of the football to Jacob Rodriguez, that dude's going to take it from you. They just take it. And they just continue this pressure, and pretty soon you buckle. You're taking chances, and they cash it in. And at the end of the day, that's really what Tech's about. Baron Morton makes him good because he doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't fuel the other team. He's got 4 interceptions on the entire season. Missed a couple games, yeah. But look, the dude keeps them on course. and doesn't give gifts to the other team. And then at the end of the game, they're taking the gifts. So, let's see if this follows formula. Let's see if this holds up out of league.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate everybody being in here today, man. Thank you guys. We came up with this, or I should say Fitz came up with this idea to do this. Good idea. I'm glad you guys made it in. Make sure, though, after the game, we'll be live again right after the game, breaking down exactly what happened, why it happened, and what it looks like moving forward for whoever wins. So make sure you guys are here. If you have not already, remember to like, follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know exactly when Big 12 Insiders content comes out, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys for showing up. We're going to get set, going to get ready. It's going to be a great game. Going to be a great game. We'll talk to you guys after the game, man. You guys have a good one.
Thank you for watching the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. This has been a Spirit Street production.